Yeah, Hala. Hala Fatma, how are you doing? أهلا وسهلا يا هلا يا هلا. مساء الخير. Wonderful, wonderful. Good to see everybody joining. Great to see you. So this, ya hala Fatma, wallahi good to see you too. Good to see you too, virtually, with the social distancing. Thank you, thank you. I've been looking forward to this as well. So this, ya hala Zahid. This hour is for you. So we're going to be talking a little bit about what's happening, this crisis, the here and now, and designing your future. So as you know, as I'm taking you through the tools and the discussion, feel free to pop up your questions, your comments. This is for you to make the best out of it and to get the answers to the questions that are top of mind for you. Welcome, that's fantastic. Great, great. So let's start. I wanted to take you today, my name is Salma Sakhnini, and it's an honor to be here today doing a live chat with you as our friends and colleagues are joining in. And today we're going to be talking about how do we design our future in this time of crisis, this time of uncertainty and fear. How do we look at the future? How do we see the future and this new normal that everybody's talking about? How are we going to look at it, and how are we going to plan for it to make sure that we're one of the winners of the future? So we're going to be talking about three parts: dealing with what's going on, what we're going through right now, and then looking at what makes success in crisis situations, and then how do we plan for our own future and our own success story. So this COVID-19 that took the world by storm and put everybody at home, put the whole world in crisis and uncertainty, is wreaking havoc in our lives. And a lot of us are uncertain, we are scared, we're afraid. I mean, the very first fear that we have is about our health, is about not getting sick, is about being precautious and taking all the precautions to ensure that we're safe and the people around us that we love are as well safe. So, and we've been, locked down for some time now in the UAE, around the world, and we are experiencing life like we never knew before. A different kind of working from home, working remotely, for the students out there, studying remotely as well, and making sure that we don't mix socially. We are taking, like I said, a lot of precautions and trying to protect ourselves and protect each other. So it's a completely new way of thinking about life and the way that we handle our lives and work and studying. So the first thing that I want us to think about is, how are you dealing with your fear? How are you managing this new mode of life that we're all subjected to? Is working from home working for you? Is studying remotely going well? How is that going with you? Because this is something that is new to all of us, and it's something that may be open-ended for some time, and we have to really get used to it, because we've been talking a lot about technology, about digitization, about how the world is changing with bots and robots and all of that. But this crisis came and actually just made everything go very quickly to make us sure that we go into full blast technology, regardless if actually we were ready for it or not. So ready or not, here we are dealing with it, and dealing with this fear that we have because things are uncertain. And as you're saying that it's a tough balance. It is a tough balance. How do you balance your fear of staying healthy and staying safe and protecting yourself and the people around you, and at the same time, how do you manage your psychology? Because it's very important. While we are very aware that we have to wash our hands, we have to put on the gloves and the masks and protect ourselves from this virus, but how are we protecting ourselves from the negative thoughts and from the fear that is inhabiting us? I'm really concerned about that side of fear that is actually staying with us, because being scared and being careful about staying healthy and protecting ourselves is good, but living in a state of fear and anxiety is actually a sickness. And my aspiration and what I hope is we don't go out of this just healthy physically. We need to make sure that we are managing our state, we're managing basically our mindset and our psychology, because we want to go out of this crisis not only physically fit and healthy, we want to be psychologically and mentally healthy as well. So the last thing we want is that we live in this state of fear and paralysis, that we're just, we're paralyzing ourselves and we're damaging our mental and our psychological state. Because if you think about it, 80% of success in life and at work and in studying, in life in general, 80% is psychology, is your mindset, how you think about things, how we approach things, how we approach life in general, is basically the cornerstone of every success in life. So if you don't manage the way that you are, your state, if you don't manage the way that you're thinking about life and you're thinking of the future, then you're shooting yourself in the foot, because for sure you're determining that you're not going to be successful. So if 80% of success in life is our psychology, our mindset, our state, then it's in our hands. The good news is we can control it. There's a lot of things that we can't control, and fear comes out of our feeling that we have lost control. We don't have control over this virus, or the number of casualties that it's affecting, or how it's spreading. There's a lot of things. How it is affecting our lives, how it's affecting the economy, what's going to happen next. All of these things we don't have control over at all. And this is what, when we feel that we have lost control over our lives, is the primary reason why we feel that, we are scared, because we've lost control. But to regain control into our lives, let's focus on what we can control. And what we control is ourselves. We can control our mindset, we can control the way we think and the way we look at things and what we do about them. So instead of concentrating about and keeping focused on what we cannot control, which is outside us, and knowing that we cannot change much, let's focus on what we can control, which is internally. So exactly like we are very protective of not getting infected by this virus, and we do everything in our capacity to stay safe, like from washing our hands to disinfecting all the shopping that we do when we go out, to putting on the masks, to we go to elaborate we take elaborate steps to make sure that we are protected, that, all of these viruses, we don't touch something that is infected. Okay, great. I'm happy that we do that. But in parallel, how are we protecting our minds and our thoughts from all of this negativity that's going around? We wake up, we look at the numbers. Are they up or are they down? Do we know somebody who got infected? We look for these stories that are always putting us in a state of negativity, in a state of fear. We pick up the phone, somebody lost their job. We pick up the phone, this company has slashed salaries. We're always hearing the news and the effects that this crisis is putting on us and globally. But what are the steps that you are taking to protect yourself from this complete feeling that we're completely helpless and there's nothing that we can do? How are you preparing yourself to ensure that we deal with this crisis now, we not only survive it, but we come out better? Because we can come out better. Because you know what? With all of this terrible thing that the crisis has imposed on us, the isolation, being at home, disrupting our lives, disrupting work, putting strains on our economies and our businesses, there's opportunities in this crisis. This crisis gave us a lot of gifts. One of them is the gift of time. Because now we have a time at home where we can focus on making ourselves better. So how are you investing your time? Are you sitting at home and doing what? How are you investing in yourself and in becoming ready for the future? Because this situation might be with us for a long time. Okay, so it's something that we might have to live with. Maybe not to this extent in terms of precautions and isolation, but this will be with us for a while. So what are you doing and how will you invest this time to ensure that we come out from this not broken, we come out of this better, we come out of this better versions of ourselves, and we equip ourselves for the future. I was having a conversation with a friend this morning and he was saying, but it's, there's uncertainty, and they did a round of layoffs in my company, and there's a second and a third round that's happening, and I'm really scared. I don't know what to do. And I asked him, how are you making sure that you are shining in terms of your performance in your company? How are you making yourself indispensable? How are you differentiating yourselves? Because this is what makes people different. Because if I'm going to be just thinking about fear and what's going to happen to me and I'm becoming a victim, fear makes us shrink, makes us smaller. Our challenge is to break that and to ensure that we grow. We get nowhere when we think from a mentality of scarcity, a mentality of fear, because that makes us smaller, it makes us shrink. And when a crisis hits, that's the first reaction that we have is, how do we control? How do we do damage control to our lives? Businesses start thinking, how do we do damage control? How do we control our expenses? How do we control our costs, because now revenues are not coming in? Everybody looks at damage control. That's fine as a first reaction, but we can't be stuck there, because going forward, to move forward, we need to start thinking of progress and growth. So after we do damage control, what is next? Tomorrow morning, let's say, if the crisis is over and we're asked to go back, how are we gonna go back? Are you in a better state of mind? Did you learn any skills during this time that we are at home? How did you prepare yourself for the future? How are you preparing yourself for your first job, for the students that are joining us that are about to graduate? Because this time, the gift of time, that, like I said, is precious, because this time that we are forced to think about and review a lot of things about our lives. We're reflecting, and like you were saying, it's truly reflecting on existing habits and paradigms and so on. And I'm happy to hear that, because that's exactly where we start growing. Because if you're actually reflecting on what's happening with you, and what's been happening so far, where you've come, and then reflecting on where do you want to go next, that's when you can say, all right, let me put a plan for myself and use this time, instead of just being completely distracted and not in control of my emotions and where my focus is. Let me invest this time by reaching out. There's a million resources out there. Everybody's trying to help. Let me reach out and touch base with a mentor to learn from them, to see if I'm on the right track in terms of major. Maybe I found out that, in this time, I'm passionate about technology, or I'm passionate about healthcare, I'm passionate about something else, or I really want to study something else. I want to start thinking about banking in a different way. So it depends where you are, but self-reflection is the first step for us to go forward. And then investing the time in rethinking, retooling, getting out and doing all that you can to ensure that you're reading up, you're studying, you're connecting to seminars, to webinars, to workshops, to talks, to anybody out there who can benefit you and add value to you. Because this is the time that can change your life. And it will change your life, because think about it. When are we gonna get a gift of time like this one? Maybe never in our lifetime. I hope never in a lifetime again. Because this focused time, the way we invest it, is critical. And I, for one, have decided that I want to take this time to make sure that COVID-19 will actually ensure that I come out of this a better version of Salma. I want to come out stronger. I want to come out more learned. I want to come out more knowledgeable. I want to invest my time reflecting, retooling, and becoming ready for the future. And who knows what this new future is and this new normal is. We know that a lot of our habits, a lot of our thinking are going to be different. And maybe a lot of industries are going to be different, that's for sure. We know that a lot of businesses might have to pivot and reinvent themselves, for sure. But how are we and how are you contributing to making sure that you have a shining future going on? What are you doing to change not only your mentality, but how are you preparing? So the first step is look at your mindset. How are you thinking? Are you staying positive? Are you looking for opportunities? Are you making sure that you are receptive to opportunities rather than, and you are receptive and ready for growth rather than shrinking? The second thing is focus. Where are you focused? What are you thinking about? And because we all know where focus goes, things grow. So if you're focusing on fear, you're gonna be very scared. If you're focusing on learning and growth, that's gonna grow. Whatever you focus on and you put your mind to, that's exactly what will transpire in your life. So, a lot of people talk about manifestation and so on. And that's very important. And that is very linked to your focus. You focus on something, you go after it, that's how you do it. And then the third thing is plan and make sure that you follow a schedule every single day, right? And that schedule has to marry with your strategy or with what you want to achieve. So if I want to learn a new skill, or if I want to prepare myself with certain things, I better have a focused time to dedicate to that and identify where the resources are. And there's a lot of free resources out there that I can plug into. So I don't have an excuse to say, oh, I don't have enough money. Oh, I don't want to spend right now. No. Okay? Whatever you want to achieve, whenever there's a will, there's a way. And you can actually go out and do a bit of research. We're blessed that we have the internet and we have endless resources out there that will help get all of us more knowledgeable towards what we want. So, and then after that, make a plan and commit to it. Commit, because that commitment is a commitment to yourself to become better. And by you and me doing that and becoming better and working on that, that's our contribution to ensuring that this recession or this economy still gains momentum. Because if you and I are gonna be just sitting at home, not being productive, not thinking about how we can do things better, not working, then you and I are contributing to the slowdown that's happening. So the way I think about it is, it's exactly like we have a responsibility to each other to make sure that we, as a community, to ensure that we keep safe. And our responsibility is not only to ourselves, but to each other. I think economically as well, we have a responsibility towards each other to ensure that we are productive. Because if you're productive and I'm productive, and you're doing your best and I'm doing my best, we are ensuring that this momentum of the economy and the momentum of the business and life, basically, although it slows down a little bit, but at least there's movement and we are contributing to that momentum. But if you're gonna just not be productive, I'm gonna sit down and so on, things are gonna come to a creaking halt. So I put it out there because we're all responsible to ensure that we come out of this much better, we come out stronger, and we come out more knowledgeable and more ready for our future. Yes, we are all responsible for being productive, 100%. And I'm happy to see that a few of you are commenting that it's important to use this time to reflect and retool and see where the future lies. I mean, everybody knows that technology is with us to stay, and right now a lot of assumptions are happening and so on. But one thing for sure is technology is going to be a big part of our lives. Will we go back to the offices, to work and so on? You bet. But will it be exactly the same formula as before? Probably not. So reimagining the future, rethinking about your studies, your life and what you want to do, redesigning that. It's your time right now. It's a very nice opportunity to do it. And for people who are working and in their careers, or they have their own businesses and so on, this is the right time to think about, how can I reinvent? How can I pivot? How can I, if I want to use another word, reimagine my business, or retool the business to ensure that I come out with a better service, with a more relevant service, with things that are more suitable for the time being. So So Safiya saying maybe rethink about our careers. Definitely. I think right now, if I'm gonna separate it into like different phases, right now, think about your career and how can you stand out. For people who are thinking about survival in their careers, this time is the time that you stand out. You stand out how? By your performance, by your willingness to do more, to be more. Because in times of crisis, people show their true colors. And what I mean by that is, the time when times are easy and times are normal, everybody is kind, everybody is like a superstar, everybody is good enough. But it's in times of crisis that you see the true colors of people, you see what people are really made of. So courage comes when we are really scared. Not, a lot of people say, oh, we're courageous, but at the slightest signal of danger, they run scared. And I'm not saying that fear is bad or that we shouldn't feel afraid. Feeling afraid is normal and it's a human thing. But sticking to fear and being stuck there and not doing something about it, that's what I think is wrong. Okay? So feeling afraid and scared is a normal emotion. But choosing to stay there and do nothing about it, that's what's wrong. So in our careers, in crisis, like it differentiates people. So any crisis, and this is a major one, calls for flexibility. How flexible are you? How quick are you to adapt? How quick are you to ensure that you respond to whatever your career needs or your business needs? Okay, and that's very important. And this is one way of standing out. This is one way to make sure that there's continuity. Look, a lot of businesses, and that cannot be avoided. A lot of businesses to survive have to cut costs because overnight revenues have gone down, right? The only way and the better way for all businesses, if a business needs to survive, some businesses have just closed down, okay? From restaurants to, they just felt that's it. But businesses that need to survive, they need to stretch out the time until they can survive. So the only way to do it is by reducing expenses. And unfortunately, part of reducing expenses is a lot of times reducing salaries. So, what are the options here? Either that we are flexible and we have to actually, deal with that and accept it and take it in stride moving forward to ensure that we all survive it for a transition, and then when things stabilize we go back to normal again. Or if you're too rigid, like they say, when the wind is blowing you have to be flexible, because if you're too rigid you're gonna break down. So dealing with that and having a flexible approach to life in general and problem solving is very important, because leadership and success, a lot of it is about how you deal with things. Again, remember the mindset, how you look at things and how you deal with them. So problem solving that and handling it is very important. And one of the questions here is stress. I know it's a very stressful situation, but how do you deal with stress? Basically, again, I go back to the mindset, because the way you look at things and the way you see them is directly linked to the way we feel about it. So our emotions are linked to the way we look and the way we define and the way we call things. So if I call, if I call something a disaster, guess what I'm gonna be feeling? It's a disaster. if I think about a situation where things are happening at work and they're out of my control, and in my mind, I'm thinking I'm the victim here, I'm gonna feel that I'm a victim, and that these feelings of, victimization and oh, poor me and all of that are gonna be just amplified. But if I look at the same situation and I say, okay, this is happening, it's not personal, how can I deal with it and make the best out of this situation? I'm not a victim here, but let me just deal with this situation and let me utilize this situation and make myself stronger and better and stand up on my own feet quicker. Guess what? Once I start thinking about it and saying that to myself, my feelings are going to be completely different. I'm not going to be I'm going to feel stronger. I'm going to feel that I have a chance of surviving this and actually doing something about it. So stress is something that we choose. Stress is something that we choose because everything is a choice for us. And I'll tell you how. I know that stress is all around us, and it could be overwhelming what we're going through and so on. But how we look at it and what we do with it is something that is optional. Because look at the people around you. Everybody deals with the same situation in a completely different way. You and I might be looking at the same thing and seeing completely different things, because the way I look at it is different from the way you're looking at it. And because of that departure point, the way I'm going to deal with life and deal with that situation is going to be completely different. So don't undermine the importance of the control that you have over your mentality, over your thoughts, and over your emotions and feelings. Because, stress is there. The crisis is all around us. I appreciate that, and I completely understand. I go through the same things, all right? But I choose not to be stuck there. And that's a choice. And it doesn't mean that it's easy, but it means that I know that I have what it takes to ensure that I control how I think and what I do with my thoughts and my mindset to ensure that I set up myself right for the future. Because if I let my feelings and emotions and fear control me, and I'm just going to be on the receptive of what's happening around me, and I'm out of control, who's in control of my future? Definitely not me. I'm going to leave it up to circumstances, right? But the decision to say, this is the situation, it's happening to everybody globally, okay? But you know what? The fact of the matter is there's going to be losers and there's going to be winners. And who do you choose to be in which camp? Because that's a choice. Your choice of controlling the way you feel, the way you think, what you do about it. And look, it's perseverance, it takes resilience, and it takes a lot of work. Because sometimes, I wake up and I really don't feel like exerting all of this effort to make sure that I'm motivated, that I'm thinking positive, and I'm putting that in my mind and I'm gearing myself up. I'm psyching myself up to make sure that I start my day right and I continue my day right. And even if I get problems during the day and so on, I'm ready to problem solve them. You know what? It's not easy, and I'm not always in the best of moods and so on. It takes work, but I'm committed to myself to ensure that I give myself the opportunity to be better and to succeed. So Hind is saying, always stay in check with your mind, especially when it drains you with all the pessimistic thoughts. Absolutely. And absolutely, you're on point. Look, think about it this way. When we wake up in the morning, maybe now not as much, but when we wake up in the morning and when we used to go out every single day, you put a lot of thought into what you want to wear, right? What do you want to wear? You want to make sure that you look your best. We take our time to shower, to get right, to ensure that we have the right clothes on and we look our best, okay? We actually make that effort and we give it thought and attention and we choose, okay? But we don't give attention to what we're choosing. Like we choose and we put on our clothes every single day. What we are putting on as well every single day is our thoughts and our mindset. So why don't we deliberately choose what ideas, what thoughts, what mindsets we want to put on every single day? Not only clothes. Clothes are on the outside. But really, what are the thoughts and ideas and emotions I want to feel on a daily basis? Let's start picking those up and wearing them every single day and taking care of them. Let's have that done on a deliberate basis. And I promise you, if you do that and you consistently start selecting your ideas, selecting your emotions, that will change your life. Because when you change your mind, you change your focus and you go after it, I promise you, it will change you. And once that change is happening in your life, you don't want to look back. Because once you start feeling the control you have and the power that you have, you will feel that you're on top of the world, because it's only you who has the power to control yourself and to shape your future. And shaping your future and giving it time and attention has never been more opportune than now. Because right now we have the time. This luxury that we have, the gift of time that we have right now is incredible, because we can read, we can write, we can study, we can be on our computers and our screens the whole day, listening to webinars, reaching out to people. In this isolation that we have, I feel more connected to so many people, much more than before. Before, I used to struggle to find time to go out and see my friends. And it was a constant thing that really bothers me, because I never dedicated enough time to see people and to be with people that I care about and I love, because we were running on such a fast pace that really there was no time. But right now, I have the time. Okay, it's not in person, but we're doing lives, we are Zooming with people, we have all of these tools where we can video conference with people and we can talk and we can connect. And we're connecting on a very deep level because we're all in this together and we're all going through the same kind of emotions and so on. But what differentiates people is that how we deal with it. Everybody's dealing with it completely differently. Everything is possible if you put your mind to it. Absolutely. Sheikha, you are absolutely right. Everything is possible. So the way you control your mind and your thoughts, that's the game changer, and that's what gets you to be ready for your future and make sure that you are getting ready on a daily basis, because you might start something somewhere and find yourself in a completely different place. You might start with one idea about you working on something, and as you work through things, you would find yourself steering in a different journey. As long as you start, it's important. And some days you're more productive than others. It's fine. Give yourself a break. It's fine. as long as you're every single day you're making progress and you're taking steps to get you closer to where you should be. So yes, Sheikha, it takes courage to do all of that and all the right things and patience. But you know what? Think about it. What is the other option? If we are not courageous and if we don't take all of these steps to go forward, what are your options? The option is to stay still and do nothing? That's not an option. Our only choice here is to choose ourselves, to choose our well-being. And well-being here is our mental well-being, our physical well-being, because we're here to make a difference. We're in this life to ensure that we are contributing, and we cannot contribute except at our best if we are not at our best. So take this time, the gift of time. Again, I insist that it's a huge gift. Make this gift of time work for you. Take it and invest all of this time in yourself, in building your capabilities, in building your knowledge, in revisiting things that you haven't done before, in re-evaluating where you stand, and re-evaluating your life. And then reach out, re-evaluating your relationships. Reach out, because a lot of this time has forced us to reflect on our own priorities. We found out that, perhaps you found out that a lot of the people or a lot of the relationships or a lot of the things that we thought were incredibly important, in this lockdown, we find out that they're not as important. We find out that we have different priorities. So we're rediscovering things about ourselves, and this is incredibly important, and this is so valuable. So redefining our priorities, redefining where we want to be, reflecting on our lives, and investing in ourselves daily basis to become better. Learning a new skill every day, learning something new every day, knowledge, reaching out and touching somebody in terms of even virtually, right? Reaching out and learning from somebody, reaching out and rekindling a friendship that we have lost. And the ultimate is, as we are investing in ourselves, let's reach out and contribute to our community, to people we can help, because it's only by reaching out and helping others that we feel most empowered. You want to gain control back in your life. You want to feel the confidence. You want to feel basically that you're planning for your future and getting ready. Invest in all of the tools that are out there. Most importantly, like we've been saying, invest in your mindset. Choose your ideas, choose your emotions on a daily basis, and don't leave it up to your subconscious to run you. Use your mind to run your life and to choose the life that you want. And as you're redesigning your life and your future, make sure that you're reaching out to build the network around you. Build the circle of friends, your circle of acquaintances. Make sure that as you're revisiting the people who are important in your life and who can impact you in a good way, choose them, strengthen your friendship and your ties and your communication with them. People who don't serve you, who may have served you in the past, but they are not serving in your future time. Don't invest too much time with those. Invest time with people who are gonna take you to the next level. Upgrade. This time is all about leveling up. Level up. It's your responsibility to do that. Level up in your knowledge, level up in your commitment to yourself, level up in communicating to the people who are around you, who are important and who you love, and who you want to invest in, and in level up in your responsibility towards each other and towards our community. Because only through contributing out of yourself, out of your knowledge, in any way that you can help others, that's when truly we feel empowered and we feel connected at a very, very deep level. And that's the ultimate, I think, because we all as humans need to feel that we are able to contribute outside of our own selves. So decide, what is it, as we're talking about this whole new normal, what is this new normal gonna look like? My question to you is, what is the best version of you gonna look like? What are you gonna look like? If you imagine the best version of yourself, and that's gonna become the new normal of you, what is it looking like? Draw it out, imagine it, reimagine it, and amplify all the good stuff about it and work towards it. Because that's the whole point. We are here to be the best versions of ourselves. And when we're that, we're able to contribute the most. And this life is all about contribution. And we're in Ramadan. And in the spirit of Ramadan, I love Ramadan because it amplifies all the virtues of reflection and introspection, connection with ourselves, connection with life, connection with God, and connection with each other. So imagine, all of these we are able to do so well. And this Ramadan, because we're not going out as much and so on, and I miss that, and having iftars together and seeing everybody. But this Ramadan specifically has also given us time to just a lot of introspection, especially with everything that's going on. And what is the meaning of all of that? A lot of connection to ourselves, to our spirituality, to God, to what's important in life, and to our obligations to each other as fellow human beings. So invest this time in your mindset, in choosing your thoughts, in choosing your focus, and in creating your plan. And by imagining and reimagining what you want to be, your best version of yourself, your dream self. Who is that going to be? Because that's the new normal. That's the new you. And as we talk about the new normal in life, I want you to reimagine the new normal that is you and work towards it, because the time for you to do that is now. Because if you miss the boat on this one, I don't know when we're gonna get another time like this one. So yes, absolutely. I totally agree, Safiya. We have to invest in our mindset. Absolutely. Yeah, keep possible people around you and avoid people who bring you down. Absolutely. Choosing people around you, your tribe, what we call the tribe, and people who are in your circle affect your mentality. They affect your energy. They affect your progress. They affect your ambition. And so choose them. Be very, very selective, and be very, very selfish whenever you think about that. It's very important that you surround yourself with people who take you higher rather than who bring you down. Very, very important. So thank you, Hind, for that. By helping each other, we become powerful. Absolutely. Absolutely. The more we contribute, the more powerful we feel, and the more, because this connection that we have and this bond that we have together is very important and gives us strength. As Sheikha is saying, it takes courage to do all the right things. Time and patience, again, absolutely. Absolutely. But, nothing worthwhile is done without courage and patience. Perseverance is so important to see results, in everything in life. Whenever we go on a diet, we cannot see results overnight. I think about, I want to lose weight. I go to sleep because I have that intention. I wake up in the morning expecting that I have already lost the weight. Doesn't work. It takes intention, focus on what I'm doing, making sure that I follow a plan for, my habits and my eating and my exercising, and doing it consistently and being patient to see the results. So is everything in life. So we really need to monitor the way we think about things, because remember, we have this autopilot in the back that is running us unconsciously. So become aware of the thoughts that you are thinking, of the things that you tell yourself during the day. And a lot of us are on autopilot and we don't even notice them. One way of noticing them is journaling. Put things down. I find journaling a very powerful tool. Wake up in the morning, start picking up habits that help you. And each one of us is different. But a good habit usually is start your day early, and you decide what time early is for you. But start your day early, and the first thing that you do during your day, take that morning and journal, okay? And start by setting your day right. What do you want to do in the day? What are your thoughts about the day? Who you are going to be that day? And start building that habit, okay? And because how you set your day, how you start your day, sets the day for the rest of the day, and maybe the rest of the whole week. So it's important that we pick up habits that empower us, that serve us, rather than that hinder us. So become aware of your thoughts, of your mindset, and of your habits, and ensure that you let go of things that don't serve you, and you pick up and stick with what serves you. Own your mornings, absolutely, Safiya. We really need to own them and choose them. And remember, throughout all of this chaos, we always have control over ourselves. Although we don't control what's happening outside and the surroundings and so on, but we have complete control over our thoughts, over our emotions, over our mindset, and that's real power, because once we do that, we're able to change ourselves and we're able to change things around us. So don't underestimate that. The power of choice and the power of thoughts and picking those, and the power of our mentality is huge, and that could determine whether we are setting ourselves up for success or for failure. All right, so Safiya, you're asking me to record this, and I really don't know how to do this, but I will definitely try. once we hang up with this. Okay, so if I'm gonna leave you with a couple of thoughts, I want to thank you for joining me and thank you for your contribution. Think about how you're preparing yourself for the future. Tomorrow morning, if we wake up, inshallah, and they announce that, you know what, COVID-19 disappeared, no more, okay? Let's go back to real life, to life as normal. Are you prepared? What have you done during the time that we have been home? Are you gonna go out stronger, better, or weaker? Because that's in your hands, and that's completely up to you. That has nothing to do with the virus. That's you and me. And I choose to work on myself in this time and become better and work towards becoming the best version of myself. And my aspiration and my hope is each one of you does the same. Stay well, and I wish you all the best always, especially in Ramadan. And as this is my chat with you just before Eid Mubarak, and I really hope that you stay well, healthy, and sane, and let's commit to getting out of this crisis better, stronger, and more prepared for our future. Thank you so much, and good night.